Key Media New York, Inc. presents a Tallman Entertainment production. Fundamentals to Fantastics. We're here live from New York with four-time world champion Steve Miserak, the master. And joining Steve, the always exciting two-time ladies world champion Ava Mataya. And to make things complete, the coolest nine-ball player of all, the 1992-93 nine-ball champion, Johnny Archer. Join us now as these pool greats give you insight on how to play your best pool. The location, New York's Upper West Side, one of America's finest clubs, the Amsterdam Billiards Club. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the best pool instruction you'll ever see. And now, here's Steve Miserak.
Welcome to the Amsterdam Billiard Club, one of New York's hotspots. We're here to make a video. Fundamentals to Fantastics. Trick shots, fundamentals, all you need to know about how to play pool. With me, Johnny Archer, the 92-93 World Nine-Ball Champion, and pool's leading lady, Ava Mataya, and me, the Miz, the Master. Watch it.
The most important part of any sport is to start out with the correct basic fundamentals from the very beginning. The first thing I like to cover is your stance. Having the correct balance as you shoot to be as comfortable as you can be is very important in a stationary sport like pool. Golf would be very similar to where you're standing in one place when you're executing the shot or the stroke. And the first thing you worry about is your feet. It's hard to tell anybody how far this should be between your left and your right foot, since everybody is from a different height, everybody goes down different levels on your shot. So that's pretty much individual. But the main idea is to keep your feet sort of in an outside corners of an imaginary box. And then some players tend to want to bend one leg slightly. Some prefer to have both legs straight. That varies. And that's pretty much up to you what you feel more comfortable with. The main thing is that you're nice and balanced. You have the balance in the center of your body. Then from there, you bend over toward the shot, adjust your feet according to where your bridge hand is. And the thing to watch for here is a lot of people tend to lean forward into this and put a lot of weight in the front in the bridge hand. That's going to throw your balance off a little bit on your stroke, so it's much better if you keep more upright, just have the weight in the center of your body, just put your bridge hand nice and loose down on the table, and follow through. There are a lot of different various bridges when you play the game of pool, and I'd like to run through the more common ones with you. There's 5 different main bridges that you need to deal with mostly. The first one would be what I would refer to as the beginner bridge. The best thing I can explain this is to make a fist on the table, take your thumb and sort of put it right against your hand, take the 4 fingers and spread them out to where you have a nice comfortable base for the cue stick to lay on, like this. The second bridge would be the professional bridge. And here you pretty much start in the same way, only this time you take your forefinger, wrap it around the cue stick, and have it meet with the thumb and the middle finger to sort of form a loop around the cue stick that keeps it in place. So when you follow through straight ahead instead of when the cue having a tendency to sort of go up in the air. So shooting at the 2, it would look like that. In cases where the cue ball is close to the cushion, the idea is instead of holding up your hand up on top of the cushion like this, you don't want to be shooting down on the cue ball. So what you do is you take your thumb, put it in the center of your hand like this, and put, again, the forefinger around, make a loop around the cue stick to sort of keep it in place. Just let the cue rest right on the cushion, like that. Going from there, when the cue ball is very close to or right frozen onto the cushion, the idea is, like I said earlier, to keep the cue stick as level as you can to the table. So you don't want to be jacking up like this, and you still need to be able to see where the ball is heading. So you just lay your hand down and sort of form a line right here between the hand and the thumb. like this. And lastly, many times there's a ball behind the cue ball to where you can't make your regular bridge, and this is where you sort of need to get on top, way up top on your tippy toes up here. You need to make a sort of a tripod with all 4 fingers nice and firm into the bed of the table, like this. Pull your thumb again up next to the hand to where there's a nice groove for the cue ball, the cue stick to go through, like this. The main part about the bridges is that it's a nice, firm, comfortable bridge to where the cue ball isn't moving side to side at all. And finally, the mechanical bridge. Obviously, since the table is 9 feet long, there are going to be situations where you're not going to be able to comfortably reach the shot. Here's where we use the mechanical bridge. The idea is to put the cue on the bridge, sort of move it up toward the cue ball, about the same distance, maybe a little farther away than you normally would with your hand. Take the left hand, put it on the bridge, leave it firmly on the table. That way you have a firm bridge, so when you stroke the ball, it's not going to go left or right, back or forward. You just shoot nice and comfortable. Keep your elbow high. You want it about parallel with your shooting arm to where you have a nice stroke to where you can really follow through on the ball. This way you're going to shoot down into the table. It needs to be nice and level. Like that.
Now it's my turn to talk to you about the grip and the stroke. Most good players grip the cue at the back of their cue with 3 fingers. They add the 2 at the back, okay, very lightly. Your tension is in these 3 fingers, so it gives free movement to your wrist so that the stroke can flow smoothly. Now when you're stroking, your arm is supposed to swing back and forth like a pendulum, straight back and straight forward. And make sure the cue stick goes through the cue ball as you're stroking, as cue track will show you. The stroke is very important so that the cue ball can go through the object ball with a good amount of speed. Watch the cue tip go through the cue ball. I even hit the cue ball twice that time. That means I had a very good follow through. But you're not supposed to hit it twice. One more time. The back of the cue, 3 fingers. Don't grip it too tight, because if you grip it too tight, you're going to be too stiff. Get down, stroke it like a pendulum, straight back and forward. Remember, cue track will show you this. And watch how straight the cue tip went towards the cue ball. This is how to get a true firm stroke, as cue track will show you a little bit later on in the video.
Okay, I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about the equipment that we use on the tour. Well, of course, everybody knows about the chalk. Well, there's a lot of different ways you can chalk the cue, but really what you want to do is you just want to rub it a little bit lightly across the tip, turn your cue a little, and you want to get it on the sides of the tip. You don't want to go like this, or you don't want to go off to the side, because that's just not going to make the chalk stay on the tip, and it's going to mess the chalk up. Okay, and then I was going to talk a little bit about my cue. Well, this cue has a little bit of rosewood, has ivory. It's a steel joint. A lot of players play with a steel joint that you don't see in the pool rooms that you go to back home. Okay, and then the tip itself, you know, it could be made of leather, rawhide, and then the ferrule. I have an ivory ferrule on my cue. So that's why I don't break with my cue. I have my own break cue, because the ferrule will crack itself. So that's more or less the cues. So if you go to try to pick out a cue in your own pool room, and you roll it across the table, you can see how this cue here is very warped. You know, it doesn't roll straight. Whereas you can see my cue, it rolls really straight. Well, that's a little bit about the equipment. It'll help you pick your cues out, how to chalk your cue. You know, it'll help you play a lot better.
You might say, what is all this stuff that I have on the table? This is high tech. This is what we call the most advanced shooting system in the world. We have a cue, very fancy, very ornate, a lot of ivory, a lot of maple, bird's eye maple, stainless steel. Now you might say, well, what do we have 2 cues for? This is a break cue. When we play 9-ball, in order not to ruin the tip that we have, we bring a break cue. This break cue can serve as a regular cue, it can serve as a break cue, or even more high-tech, it can serve as a jump cue. We break it down into parts. Some people only use the shaft to jump a ball. When we get snookered behind another object ball and we want to hit the 1 or we want to hit the 2, we use this small cue. As you could tell, it's about 3/4 the size of the original. Something new. A new bridge. You might say, well, it looks like a piece of pipe to me. But it's not. This is a bridge that I call the stretch. I especially like to use it because it can reach almost any portion of the table. Now, suppose your cue is not long enough. Let's take another part of the stretch. We attach the cue extender to the back of the cue. Place it in, and you can use it the same way. 10-foot cue, 10-foot bridge. You can reach any shot on the table. You can jump balls. You can break balls. And you still have your own cue. This is what we call high tech. Try it, you'll like it.
Everybody has a lot of trouble with aiming, so I'm going to try to help you today with aiming. It's a big thing to aim straight through the cue ball onto the object ball. So I'm going to start today with the break. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just draw an imaginary line from the cue ball to the 1 ball, right dead in the center of the 1 ball. And then I'm going to try to make my cue stick go all the way through the imaginary line to the 1 ball. That's the way you start. And now I'm going to help you with your straight shots. Everybody has a lot of problems with the straight shots. So if you can do what I help you with today, you'll be very consistent. So what you want to do, you want to draw a straight line from the cue tip to the cue ball to the 9 ball into the pocket and stroke right on that line. A lot of people have problems with their long shots, and I'm going to help you with that now. What you want to do, you want to basically do the same thing I've been talking about with the break. You draw a line from the cue ball to the object ball into the pocket. So what will help you do this is aim it with your cue stick. You really need to take your time with this. Into the pocket, get down, really keep your head down. Draw the line, and you want to use the cue stick to go all the way, on the line to the object ball. Keep your head down. And that's how you make your long shots.
The first shot I'm going to cover is the stop shot. And all that really is a transfer of weight. I'm going to shoot the cue ball with center English, or just below center. The cue ball actually slides across the table. It doesn't roll. It slides across the table, takes the place of the 2, and the cue ball should stay right in its tracks. Like that. Another shot to use for position would be the follow. The follow is probably the most natural thing that your cue ball can do, because it's natural for the ball to roll forward, obviously. So after hitting the 3 ball, we're going to find our imaginary line, pocket the 3 ball, and all we're going to concentrate on the cue ball is to hit as high up on your cue ball as you can with a nice follow through. nice smooth stroke. And just by using those two, you should be able to get pretty much anywhere on the table you want.
And now I'm going to talk a little bit about the draw shot. It's one of the most difficult shots in pool. The reason people have a lot of trouble with this shot is because they either elevate their cue and try to hit it low like that, or they hit it too low and they scoop up under the cue ball. Well, all you really have to do is get level with the cue, level on the table, okay? Stroke straight through the ball, and you really don't have to hit it too hard, okay? A lot of people have problems. They think, they want to hit the ball real hard to get it to draw back. You really don't have to do that. It's just a real smooth stroke. Now, to get it to come back further, you just stroke it a little bit harder. Okay, now to come on back with the shot, you just really stay low, hit it a little bit lower. Okay, and this time I'm going to use the 10 ball to shoot instead of the cue ball. The reason I'm going to do this, I'm going to make it come all the way back to the other end of the table. And now you can see the rotation on the 10 ball as it comes back. Stay low. You have to have a lot of confidence in your stroke to really be able to shoot this shot. And that's how you make the draw shots. And now I'm going to show you about the cut shots. Instead of doing it on the table, I'm going to take you to the chalkboard. So what you want to do, you want to basically do what I've been showing you. You want to draw a line from the pocket to the full ball. You put your tip behind it. And you come behind and draw a line from the cue ball to that spot. You want to hit as close to the spot as you can. Now I'm going to show you how to do it on the table. Do the same thing. Put your tip behind the full ball to the pocket. Come behind, look at it, draw a line from the cue ball to that spot. You want to stroke straight on that line. Keep your head down and stroke straight. And that's how you make the cut shots. And now I'm going to show you about bank shots. This is a difficult part for me and a lot of the other pros in the game of 9-ball. So basically what you want to do is exactly what I was showing you before. Except now, you want to draw a line from the rail to this pocket, okay, in an angle. And then you want to shoot right at that line with the 9-ball, and then the cue ball behind it. So now I'm going to come over here and show you on the table. Okay, you draw a line from the rail to the pocket, okay, at the angle, and you want to hit straight on that line. And always remember, keep your head down and straight. Stroke straight through the shot. And that's how you make the bank shots.
Johnny spoke to you before about aiming. Now, when you use English on the cue ball, you have to compensate. You have to judge. You have to be your own judge. I'm going to hit the cue ball, hit the left side of the 3-ball, and spin it in the hole. Watch what happens to the cue ball. It's going to go to the bottom rail and spin off to the left. That's using left-hand English. Very simple shot. Now right-hand English. With all of these shots, you can position the cue ball any place you want on the table. This time I've substituted the cue ball for the 11 ball just to show you the spin. After the 11 ball hits the cushion, it's going to spin to the right and come back down towards me, and the white ball will spin in the hole. You don't want to make the white ball because that's a scratch. But this time we're improvising. Now that's right-hand English. The little tips, the high, the low, the draw, the follow, will teach you how to play better pool. And in this video, if you watch it further, you'll learn the best. You'll learn how to play position. 3 of the most popular games played on the pool table today are 14-1 or straight pool, 8-ball, which is mainly played in the bars and homes, and what we're going to play here today is 9-ball. Show you how to rack them. The 1 goes on top. Any 2 balls goes behind the 1. The 9-ball in the middle, and just follow with all the rest. Now, I'm looking for an opponent. Who else can I pick on but the number one, the world's best, the world champion in 9-ball, Johnny Archer? Come on over here.
Hi, Steve.
Would you like to play a game?
Sure, why not?
Okay, I'll tell you what. We usually either flip a coin or we lag. I'm going to spot you the break.
Well,
You need it.
Thank you. Okay, I have my own playing cue, but whenever I break the balls, I have a break cue. So Steve probably has a break cue too. Now I get my playing cue. Okay, we're going to explain the game a little bit to you today. It's how we play in the tournaments. Okay, what I'm going to do here, try to pocket the 2-ball. Try to draw the cue ball over to this side rail so I can pocket the 3 in the same pocket. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to pocket the 3 in the same pocket, put a little left-hand spin and spin over to this, anywhere in this area here. So I can pocket the 4 in the corner up by the 8. Okay, now you see I come up a little bit short on it, and I want it to be more over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to pocket the 4 in the corner and pull the cue ball anywhere in this area up here for the 5 over here. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to bank the 5 ball into the side pocket and make the cue ball just go forward maybe a foot, foot and a half for the 7 in that pocket. This should be the game-winning shot if I can make this shot. This is what happens in 9-ball, though. Usually the first guy to get the first shot usually wins the game 90% of the time. So now I'm going to pocket the 7 in that corner. I'm going to try to aim and come out 2 rails around the 8 and pocket the 8 in the right-hand corner. Okay, now I'm going to pocket the 8 in the right-hand corner, come out 2 rails and pocket the 9 in the same corner I shot the 7 in. A little bit of left-hand bottom English.
I'm not having any fun at this.
Now this is everybody knows you don't need to miss this one because this is the game-winning shot. 9-ball in the left corner.
You know, this is a game that men and women play on the professional tour. But sometimes we don't get a chance. It's quick, it's fast, it's made for television. I wish I could shoot once in a while. Winner breaks, go ahead. He's just lucky, that's all he is. He's just lucky.
Okay, 9 in the side for the win.
But we play race to 9. Race to
Okay, the
9.
key on the break is you want to hit the ball a little bit below center, but you want to hit the 1 ball as straight on as you can. That's the real key to control your cue ball. You don't really have to hit them as hard as you want.
This is getting frustrating, I'll tell you.
Okay, that's whenever you win the game in the tournaments. You make the 9 ball anytime you hit the legal shot. That's 3, Steve.
I know how many it is. I can count.
Okay, a little below center, solid on the 1 ball.
Now what are you going to do, big boy?
Yeah, you can see I do not have a clear pocket to pocket the 1, so I have a couple options. I can play safe. If I really want to be aggressive, I can try to kick the 1 in. That is coming to this rail, hitting the cue ball about right here on the rail, and it could pocket the 1. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to try to kick the 1 because the safe shot is about as tough as the shot. So that's usually the offensive shot if you have a real tough save. Now I'm going to pocket the 3 in the corner, and I'm going to try to draw the cue ball out, shoot the 5 in the other corner. Okay, now I'm going to shoot the 5 in the right corner, try to play the 6 in this side. Okay, and the main thing in 9-ball is all the angles. So if you stay on the right side of the next shot to get to your next ball, it makes the game so much easier. Because I can make the 6 ball from anywhere just about into here, but if I have the wrong angle, it makes it tough to get back to the 7. So I want to stay on this side of the 6, so the cue ball will go that way. Okay, I still have a couple options. I can go forward to that rail and back out, or I can just draw the cue ball straight down into here for the 7. Okay, the main thing is I don't want to get straight in on the 7 because you can only go forward or backwards when you get straight in.
John, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Myself, from my own personal knowledge, how many shots do you think in advance?
Okay, I try to think 3 shots in advance. Okay, what I'm actually thinking of is the 8 ball from here. Okay, I want to make sure I get the angle on the 7 to where I can get to the 8. Okay, usually the trouble balls maybe I think more ahead.
I'm confused already.
Yeah, as you see, I want to keep the angle on the 7 where I don't have to draw the cue ball. Okay, I want to follow the cue ball out 2 rails, and I want to go toward the 8 with the cue ball. Okay, I'm going to just draw the cue ball straight out now, straight backwards. I'm going to take a little bit of a tough shot on the 9, but as you can see, sometimes you can only work with the shot that you have. Okay, 9-ball in the same pocket as the 8. And that's 9-ball. In the tournaments, the games really go by fast, and the top players, they keep the momentum. Usually they try to keep it going in their favor for as long as they can. That's 4, Steve.
I could tell it's going by fast.
Okay. Okay, we usually expect to rack during the tournaments. Usually we just want the 1 ball froze. And all the balls froze. That's usually what you expect about the rack. Okay, I have a couple options here. I can shoot the 8, I can spin on this side of the 9 and shoot the 9 in that corner. Or I can spin back toward this way and shoot the 9 in the other corner. I'm going to like to spin back toward that way because that's going to be a little bit easier shot to keep the cue ball in control. Now 9-ball in the corner.
Johnny, I'm tired of racking. I concede, the game's over. You're the best.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
8-ball is probably the most popular game as far as amateur pool today. The main thing about 8-ball to start out is the balls are racked in a triangle. To start out to break, you would put the 1 ball on the spot, the 8-ball in the center, and try to mix up the remaining balls, stripes and solids. Since the idea of the game is to pocket 1 player has the solids, the opposite player has the stripes. The 8-ball is the only ball you get a point for, and that's pocketed last. There's a game of a lot of strategy, a lot of excitement, and we're going to try to demonstrate a couple of games for you. Steve, you ready? I figured I'd give Steve a break and give him the opening break.
Thank you. Unlike in 9-ball, you have to break hitting the front ball. In 8-ball, we don't break hitting the front ball, we break hitting the side ball. It gives more reaction on the 8-ball. And there are varied numbers of rules you can play here, various rules. And in this match here, we're going to play my rules, and
you're going to tell them to me as we go along?
As we go along.
How did I know?
I made a solid. That means I have to make the balls 1 through 7. And I do have a shot on the 1, and all my balls are open. And I could possibly run the game here, if I get lucky. I'm going to try to make the 1. Spin the cue ball 2 rails, and come down into this portion of the table right here for the 2 or the 4. Okay, I'm going to clear the 7. I'm going to shoot the 3 ball in the upper corner, bump the 13 a little bit, and make the 7 go in here, possibly for the next shot. Okay, looks like it's a clear opening. We shoot the 7, the 5, the 4 in this corner. The cue ball come back up here to shoot the 8 in this side. And the whole key here is to get high enough to be able to shoot the 8 in the side, because the 8 ball doesn't go in this corner. So if I stop here, I'm dead. Right here is a crucial time. If you miss or screw up on position, you're dead, because all your balls are off the table. The only balls left are the opponent's, and he has a clear shot.
Uh-oh.
Okay, a little bit tough, but I got down far enough to where I can back cut the 8 ball into this side. You always have to call your pocket you're shooting it in, because if you make the 8 ball in the wrong pocket, you lose the game. 8 ball in the side pocket.
Good shot. Safe.
In any game that we play, the break is the whole key. If you make a ball on the break, you could possibly win. But if you don't make a ball on the break, and your opponent has a table such as this, you're very well going to lose the game. 8 ball in the corner pocket. Remember, you always have to call the pocket you're going to shoot the 8 in.
Banked it in.
This is a rack where strategy and safety will come into play. I made a stripe. Therefore, I have striped balls. I have 6 left on the table, and they're all cluttered. So my object here is to keep her balls tied up with mine and let her do all the work. Leave this 12 here so that it can block the 5 from going in here.
Here, I have a perfect key ball to break up these balls with a 1 ball. The 1 ball is right by the side, and most of the problems are down here. So now I'm going to pocket the 2 ball in the side over here, trying to find a good angle to have on the 1 ball or even the 6 to where I can come down here and get the 5 and the 3 ball out of trouble. came a little short. I'm going to go ahead and shoot the one ball. Try to float the cue ball into these balls and knock some balls out. The main thing is I'm going to do that with these two balls because I don't want to leave myself snookered in this mess down here. I want to be able to have an open shot at possibly the 6 ball or the 4 ball. Steve's balls are pretty much open. That's something else to keep in mind when you're playing, is to realize and take a look at where your opponent's balls are at, if they have an easy or a difficult run out.
I can play it safe also by just shimmying the 13 up towards the hole. If it goes in, fine. If it doesn't go in, it really doesn't matter because I have a safe right here. 8 ball in the corner. We are all top pros, and we can do this, and situations can be reversed. On any given day, any one of the top pros can beat any one person there is. So don't think that I play a lot better than she does or Johnny plays a lot better than I do. It's a given day. Who's hot that day is going to win. Unlike 8 ball and 9 ball, it is a disadvantage to break playing straight pool. You have to be careful when you're playing straight pool. You rack them up, and you have to make sure that the 2 end balls, or all the end balls, are frozen. It is the most important part of the break playing straight pool. Take the white ball, position it as close to the black line as possible, and hit the edge of the 1. Make the cue ball go 2 cushions, here, here, over to this side, and back here, and make the 5 go to this rail, the 1 go to that rail, and hopefully you will not leave your opponent another shot. Now that is what we call a perfect break in straight pool. There are no balls in the open. My opponent can't make a ball, and he has to play it safe because he has no shot. But if he does have a shot, he's liable to shoot any ball in, as long as you call it, it's still good, and proceed to run the table like this. Now this is the most important part. I've cleaned off all the rest. We have 5 left. And you have to pick your pattern in order to get on your break ball. They call it 14-1. You run off 14, leave 1 so that you can break up the stack. It's the only game you can play without getting a shot. 5 in the corner. 4 ball in this corner. $15 in the same corner. $12 in the side. And 8 in the side. As you can tell, I have a very simple shot. I can make the 6 and go into the rack, break them open all over again, and do this for a long time. This is how you play straight pool.
Okay, the trick shot I'm going to do today is called the Evel Knievel shot. Okay, as you can see, the cue ball won't pass through the 5 and 3, so it won't pass through the rest of the balls. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my short cue, and I'm going to jump the cue ball over all these balls like the motorcycle goes over all the cars, and pocket the 9 ball. Okay, what I'm going to do now is explain a Mass 8 shot. This shot comes in to the tournaments in our 9-ball a lot. As you can see, I need to hit the 1 ball to make the 9. So in order to do that, I can't go to a rail to kick at it. So I'm going to use a Mass 8. I'm going to use the cue ball to come up here and come back down and make here without on a legal hit. This is a shot you really don't want to try at home.
Just a few simple trick shots to amaze your friends. Take 2 balls in your hand, the cue ball and an object ball. Place them along the rail. Make the 15 in the corner. Very simple shot. Now, take 2 balls in your hand. 1 solid, 1 stripe. Place them along the rail. Instead of making the 14, make the 6. Some of you might be wondering how to do that. Take the tip of your cue, place it on the cue ball, and push through. Very, very simple. Now, we set the balls up in similar fashion. And instead of playing it in this pocket, play it all the way back. Over in this pocket right here. 4-ball bank. We're going to shoot the 2 straight up the rail and make it go in this side pocket. 2 ball in the side. Watch the 2. Okay. Last 2 shots. Stripes and solids. 2 stripes in my hand, 1 solid, which is the 8. We place all 3 right along the rail, just like this. We put the cue ball behind all 3. And for this shot, I'm going to try to make the 15 and the 9 go in this pocket right here without making the 8. Watch the 15 and 9 and watch the 8. Now, this shot is a shot you usually shoot in rotation. 1 ball in this pocket right here, the cue ball behind the 2 and the 3, and the 5, and the 12, and the 9, and the 6. Now, as you can see, the cue ball has no escape. And we have to hit the lowest numbered ball on the table first, which is the 1 ball.
How do you do that? What you do is you shoot in the opposite direction. You shoot into the rail, make it hit this rail, hop over these balls, come over here and make the one ball. Watch what happens.
What I'm going to do is utilize both the jump shot and the power draw. Have the cue ball jump up, pocket the one ball and the three ball in the corner pocket before the rack comes down. Have draw on the cue ball as well, have it come back here and make the five ball in the corner pocket.
This is the whiz-bang Alakazam shot. Balls flying everywhere, every pocket. One that's even flying high.
What do you know?
All right!
All right, Steve.
Cool.
Is Johnny in the picture?
No. Come on now.
No?
Are you ready? Go ahead.
Oh!
Yeah.
All right, let me try.
Hey, we finished the tape, but there are a few more things I think we should tell the general public out there on the aspect of playing pool, okay? What about practice? How do you practice, John?
Well, I try to practice with a person, try to play like a match, race to 13, race to 11. And I usually have my wife there to kind of watch me to make sure I'm
Do you
keeping
play
my-
her?
No, she's more or less just watching out, watching me, see if I keep my head down or you know, if my eyes are moving or something. She's watching the fun.
Kind of be in the
How about you?
Nikki, my daughter, usually.
She's 8 years old.
Yeah. No, I
But
think
see, you can play pool when you're 8 years old.
it's
Remember
true.
that, right?
It's true. I play with her all the time in the basement. Sure.
You can play from 8 to 108.
I know that's one of the greatest parts about the game. No, as far as practice, like Johnny said, a lot of it is sparring. You find somebody that plays about your speed, or if you're lucky, you find somebody who plays a little bit better, and just sort of pretend you're in a match.
And for me, practice is like work, okay? Because once the bell rings and you get in a match, all the practicing doesn't do you any good.
True.
An old straight boot player by the name of Arnolfo Lari told me, he said, practice for 2 acts and then go into the match. Don't get tired. But how about playing a guy like Buddy Hall? Do you have to do anything special or think of anything special when you play?
Well, you really have to, I have to keep my mind, clear of what's going on at the table, because if I start wandering my mind, he'll just run over me.
Who's your toughest opponent?
I wish there was just one of them. Other top players now, Laura John Jones, Robin Bell, Vivian Villarreal, Mary Guarino.
And when you play, do you watch the crowd? Does the crowd bother you? I don't see a camera right next to a putt on the green,
Right.
but I see a camera right next to a pocket on
Right
a
in
pool
front
table.
of you.
Does
Well,
that
I
bother
think
you?
if you're sitting in the chair and or you're shooting a shot and you realize that the camera is there, that the audience is there, that's a sign that you're not concentrating the way you should. The key is
Exactly
to
right.
completely block out everything but the table.
Sometimes it's tough. When you're
Hard.
losing the match, it's
Right.
tough. But when you're winning the match,
Exactly right.
Tell you what, sometimes when you're even winning, you sort of feel your mind drifting. You feel like you're completely in the match, and all of a sudden you go blank, and you start getting nervous and everything because you start realizing where you are.
You start losing your concentration.
Right.
good question to ask. What do you think about when you're sitting down in the chair? I know I think about when the guy is going to miss. What do you think about it?
Well, main thing I think about just trying to get up and praying that I get a shot. Because usually...
See, I try to avoid both those things. I try to just sit and watch and sort of pretend that I'm already up there. In other words, if they do miss, when I get up to the table, I feel familiar with it already, and I also don't waste a bunch of energy sitting there, miss.
When I'm playing in a very, very tough match, and say I'm playing a guy like Johnny, I'm wishing that the ceiling caves in when he shoots. You know what I mean? Anything for me to get back at the table. I hope he breaks his leg. I hope he breaks his fingers. Anything. Okay? I want to get at that table because I know when I'm at that table, he can't win.
Right.
What I usually do is I usually wonder. Whenever I'm sitting down, I usually try not to even think about the table, not think about the game, because I want to, when I get ready to shoot, that's when I want to concentrate. Because if I use up my concentration while I'm sitting down in the chair, then I feel like it's wasted.
Well, I think at our level, too, concentration is about 75% of the match once you get into an actual tournament match. Being seasoned enough not to where the crowd bothers you or TV camera and stuff if that's around.
How do you get
By
seasoned?
playing. I mean, you start out and playing in local tournaments, get used to 10, 20 people watching all the way up to, a third of the country watching you on TV. So I think that's the key, is to just...
Hey, remember, to get seasoned, watch what we do, okay? Watch this video.
Right.
The three of us, what we have said to the general public out there, watch the video, plus Q-Track. It'll help you play better. Do you use the bridge a lot?
I try not to, because I don't really know a real great way to use it. I don't use it correctly.
Do you choke? Do you get the old Adam's apple on
Never happened.
You're one in a million. I mean,
No, sure I have. Everybody does. That's true. I mean, that's part of being a professional player or playing in tournaments, and you need to get seasoned and playing a lot of events to where you can overcome it.
When we talk about choking, we're basically saying missing an easy shot.
Missing a shot, especially under pressure, when the score is 8-8 and you have a long straight in 9-ball and you feel like...
Or 149 to 149 in straight ball,
Right.
when you have to sink that one ball.
Right.
It's all in your concentration.
Remember, when a pro comes to your town, go watch him play. Go see what he does. Come home, watch the video. Very important. And practice.